In today's video, I'll be counting down the top 10 roller coasters that could be gone in the next decade. Hello coaster lovers. So if you have been following the channel recently, you know I've been uploading videos about coasters that could be gone in the next few years, and we're bringing it back in today's video. So I gathered 10 roller coasters that look like they're on the chopping block, and I'm gonna list them off. So before we start, I have two things to note. One, this is all my opinion, so don't go in the comments and type something hateful if you disagree with my opinion. And two, I kind of lied when I said I gathered 10 roller coasters. I actually gathered 11, but I want to throw in an honorable mention because some people might get triggered, but there's a good reason why it could be torn out, and I'm hinting at Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point. If Zamperla doesn't get their act together, this thing will not have a bright future. The reason why I put this on here is because it was closed for pretty much most of the 2024 season. It was only open for 8 days in total, so you have the ultimate bragging rights if you rode this coaster in 2024. The trains were the biggest issue on why this coaster was closed for most of the season. So if this phenomenon happens, I can see Cedar Point closing the coaster for good. So let's start off the list with the major RMC candidate, Roar at Six Flags America. This is the oldest GCI still in operation as of December 2024, and this monstrosity just desperately needs to get RMC'd. Its twin over at Discovery Kingdom got the Iron Horse treatment, so why not do the same here at Six Flags America? It would benefit the lineup a lot, but this could get Millennium Flyers and a retrack, and it would be cheaper. However, I feel like it would make more sense to RMC it. I could have honestly switched this and Top Thrill 2, but this is what I came up with. There was no way in the next decade this thing is still around. For the number 9 spot, this coaster doesn't have anything going for it, and that refers to Anaconda at King's Dominion. To start this off, the plot of land that Anaconda covers is prime real estate for a new modern coaster. For the bad things about this coaster, the layout is garbage and it's not pleasing to look at. The track is severely faded, but year after year after year, it's still standing strong, which does suck, but I think eventually King's Dominion will take Anaconda into consideration for the chopping block. At the number 8 spot, this coaster also has the still standing factor, and I can see this going bye-bye in the next few years, and it's Invertigo at Kings Island. This is the only coaster that I have ridden that is on this list, and if you want my thoughts on this coaster, check out my review. But anyway, every year, it feels like it's Invertigo's last year, but it's not. And since it's a rare model and Vekoma isn't making these anymore, unless the two in Europe close first, I can see this coaster heading out in the foreseeable future. This is also one of the coasters that is hanging on by a thread, and it just doesn't fit in this park and it's pretty outdated, along with the rest of these coasters, besides Kid Flash, which is taking the number 7 spot. These count the both at Fiesta Texas and Over Georgia, and this is the first of our SBNO coasters, and these set of dueling coasters did not get a good reputation. They were rough, they were uncomfortable, and not fun, but as soon as it opened, it was well received, but after time, it got shaky quick, so it might get a low ridership in the future which could lead to its closure. We have seen the fate of the other two Skyline attractions with Harley Quinn and Tile Twister, but this seems better to keep around than those other coasters. It is a smash hit with families, but I don't think this ride has a bright future. Next up on the list is a coaster we might see something happen to it soon, and I'm talking about Loop Guru at Walibi, Belgium. There are some rumors swirling around this coaster that it might get the RMC treatment, and if you want proof, check out the link in the description. But anyway, this is one of 2 Vekoma Woodies left in operation, and one of 3 ever built, and this model did not take off. They were uninspiring, ugly, and not a pleasant experience, and the layout has so much potential to be a dang good ride. We did see how popular and tame was over at Walibi Holland, so the people at Walibi Belgium should absolutely put this into consideration for the RMC treatment. At number 5, one of these coasters is SBNO, but the other is not, and I'm also combining these two rides together because they are very similar, and I'm talking about Sidewinder at Elitch Gardens and Diamondback at Frontier City. I can also include Revolution at Blackpool, but these Aerostar loops are dropping like flies, which does suck because this is a rare model. The layout is very simple, a flywheel launch, a loop, go onto another platform, and do it all over again but backwards. So it's basically a variation of the boomerang. It's also known for crazy airtime pops such as dropping off the platforms, which is shown on screen. This is also like Invertigo, where it seems like every year is going to be its last year, but it still stands a year later, and I wouldn't be surprised if either ride or maybe both coasters close at a similar time. Just barely cracking the top 3, this coaster needs major help. It's Hellcat at Clementon Park in New Jersey. There's also a chance this coaster reopens after some time, or gets RMC'd. The only redeeming factor about this coaster is the layout. Alan Shoki designed this coaster, so that's probably why the layout is actually pretty decent. The potential for an RMC conversion is through the roof for Hellcat, but RMC Hellcat is not looking likely. And by the way, Jersey Devil is only an hour away from Clementon Park, so that's probably a reason why Clementon Park is not RMCing Hellcat. And also, I don't think this park can afford it, which really sucks. At number 3, these are the coasters that I think are going to be gone in the next few years, and we're kicking off the top 3 with Superman Superman Escape from Krypton at Magic Mountain. I know this thing is an icon. It was the first coaster in America to hit 400 feet, but this coaster is just outdated and there's no bank turns. Just go up a huge spike and back down, and that's it. And the ride experiencing downtime all the time, I can see this coaster packing up and leaving. The CEO of Six Flags wants to remove all the coasters that just cost way too much money to operate, and Superman is one of those coasters, and it's also SBNO just like Sidewinder or Hellcat. So the future of this shuttle coaster is not looking bright. And speaking of shuttle coasters whose future is not looking bright, that'll lead us into the number 2 spot with Montezuma's Revenge at Knott's Berry Farm. As for right now when this video is uploaded, Montezuma is in pieces, and Knott's has been saying it will open back up, but they haven't started construction yet. They should have started a while ago, but the more time passes and it's still in pieces, the more I believe this coaster is done for. This was the only Schwarzkopf show loop in America, so if you want to ride one right now, you have to travel to either South America, Brazil, or Belgium. Just like Sidewinder and Diamondback, it does stink to lose a rare model, but it is quite outdated, so I don't feel as bad as some other models that has gone extinct. So it takes the crown as the number 1 coaster that's going to close in the next few years. The first coaster I thought of when it comes to the subject was the Flash at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This is one of 2 coasters that features a twisted inline rollback, the other coaster being Mystic at Walibi and Alps. But the reason why it's like this is a cool story. Also on it, so the coaster opened as a normal impulse coaster back in 2001, but the coaster was 180 feet tall and the high limit for Discovery Kingdom is 150 feet. So they basically lied to everyone, telling the ride that it's 150 feet, but management noticed it, so they bent the twisted spike downwards. This coaster is going down all the time, and it's not a very popular ride at Discovery Kingdom. The reason why the line gets pretty long is because of capacity. Only 1 train can operate on shuttle coasters, so that led to disgusting long lines. And just like the 2 prior coasters, it's also SBNO. And there's a decent shot that this coaster might be going bye-bye next year in 2025. So that's the top 10 coasters that could close in the next couple years. So if you enjoyed this video, the best way you can show your support is by subscribing to the channel. You can like the video too if you enjoyed it. Expect a new video coming soon in the next 5 days. So keep the adrenaline pumping, and thanks for watching.